I lost my husband many years ago, and it's been a lonely journey. Today, when you helped me, I felt something I haven't felt in a long time. I've fallen in love with you, Chinedu. There was a pause on the other end of the line as Chinedu processed her words. For more videos like this, like, subscribe to our channel. It was a hot afternoon in Lagos, and the bustling market was alive with the sounds of haggling and chatter. Mom Nkechi, a dignified 60-year-old woman with silver-grey hair, was making her way through the crowd, struggling with a heavy crate of soda. Sweat trickled down her forehead as she navigated her way toward her car. "Oh, these young ones of nowadays," she muttered under her breath, wiping her brow. Just as she was about to give up, she noticed a young 22-year-old man nearby, busy bargaining over a shirt. He was strikingly handsome, with a well-built body that showcased his six-pack abs and muscular arms. Mom Nkechi couldn't help but admire his physique. "Excuse me, young man," she called out, her voice a blend of desperation and hope. "Could you please help me carry this crate to my car? It's quite heavy for an old woman like me." The young man, named Chinedu, looked up from the shirt he was bargaining for and smiled warmly at Mom Nkechi. "Of course, Mama. Let me help you with that." He effortlessly lifted the crate from her hands, and Mom Nkechi felt an unexpected flutter in her heart. As they walked together towards her car, Mom Nkechi couldn't help but engage him in conversation. "What's your name, my dear?" "My name is Chinedu, Mama." "And yours?" "I'm Mom Nkechi." "Thank you so much for your help, Chinedu. It's rare to find such kind and strong young men these days." Chinedu laughed, his smile lighting up his handsome face. "It's my pleasure, Mom Nkechi. You remind me of my own grandmother. She always taught me to help those in need." Mom Nkechi felt her heart swell with affection. "Your grandmother raised a fine young man. You are very handsome and well-built, Chinedu. It's good to see that some young men still take care of their bodies." Chinedu blushed slightly, though his smile never wavered. "Thank you, Mama. I do my best to stay fit." As they reached her car, Chinedu carefully placed the crate in the trunk. Mom Nkechi felt a pang of sadness at the thought of their interaction ending. She rummaged through her bag and pulled out some money, pressing it into Chinedu's hand. "Here, take this as a token of my appreciation." Chinedu tried to refuse, but Mom Nkechi was insistent. "Please, Chinedu. You've helped me more than you know. And I would love to speak with you again. May I have your phone number? I promise to call you tonight." Chinedu nodded, touched by her sincerity, and gave her his number. "I look forward to your call, Mom Nkechi." With a final smile, Mom Nkechi got into her car and started the engine. As she drove away, she glanced back at Chinedu, feeling a strange but delightful excitement about their next conversation. The night arrived, and Mom Nkechi sat in her cozy living room, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and nervousness. She picked up her phone, took a deep breath, and dialed Chinedu's number. After a few rings, his warm voice came through the line. "Hello, Mom Nkechi," Chinedu greeted cheerfully. "Hello, Chinedu," she replied, her voice tinged with both eagerness and shyness. "I hope I'm not calling too late." "Not at all, Mama. I've been looking forward to your call," he reassured her. Mom Nkechi smiled, feeling her heart swell. "Thank you, Chinedu. I wanted to tell you how much I admire you. You're such a fine young man, and your kindness today touched my heart deeply." Chinedu was silent for a moment, then replied softly, "Thank you, Mom Nkechi. That means a lot to me. I also wanted to share something personal with you," she continued, her voice trembling slightly. "I lost my husband many years ago, and it's been a lonely journey. Today, when you helped me, I felt something I haven't felt in a long time. I've fallen in love with you, Chinedu. There was a pause on the other end of the line as Chinedu processed her words. Mom Nkechi, he began gently, I didn't expect this, but I have to say that I felt a connection with you too. Your strength, your warmth, it's something special. I think I could grow to love you too. Tears of joy welled up in Mom Nkechi's eyes. Oh, Chinedu, you've made me so happy. I promise to make you happy too. When you visit my house, I will gift you something special. You deserve all the good things in life. Chinedu's voice was filled with warmth. I would love to visit you, Mom Nkechi. And I don't need any gifts. Your love and happiness are more than enough for me. They talked for a while longer, sharing stories and dreams, their bond growing stronger with each word. Finally, as the night grew late, they knew it was time to end the call. Good night, Chinedu, Mom Nkechi said softly. Good night, Mom Nkechi. Sweet dreams. I'll see you soon, he replied, his voice filled with affection. As Mom Nkechi hung up the phone, she felt a sense of contentment and hope. The future seemed bright, and she looked forward to the promise of love and happiness with Chinedu. One Saturday morning, around 10 a.m., Mom Nkechi sat in her living room, feeling the pangs of loneliness. She picked up her phone and dialed Chinedu's number. He answered on the second ring, his voice bright and cheerful. Good morning, Mom Nkechi. Good morning, Chinedu, she replied, her voice tinged with both happiness and longing. I was wondering if you could come visit me today. I'm feeling quite lonely and would love to spend some time with you. Chinedu smiled on the other end of the line. Of course, Mom Nkechi. I'd be happy to visit you. I'll be there soon. Thank you, Chinedu. I'll be waiting, she said, her heart fluttering with anticipation. After ending the call, Chinedu began preparing himself for the visit. He carefully selected a well-fitted shirt that accentuated his muscular build and a pair of smart trousers. As he buttoned up his shirt, he looked at himself in the mirror, admiring his reflection. Hope I'm looking handsome now, he thought to himself, a smile playing on his lips. He reached for his favorite bottle of cologne and sprayed a generous amount, ensuring he smelled as good as he looked. Chinedu ran his fingers through his neatly styled hair, giving himself one last glance in the mirror. Satisfied with his appearance, he grabbed his car keys and headed out of his room. His mind was filled with thoughts of Mom Nkechi and the excitement of spending the day with her. As he stepped out of his compound, Chinedu felt a sense of anticipation. He knew that the day held the promise of joy and connection, and he was eager to see Mom Nkechi again. With a confident stride, he walked to his car, started the engine, and drove off, the prospect of a beautiful day ahead making his heart race with excitement. Chinedu's car pulled up to Mom Nkechi's gate, and he gently honked the horn to alert the gateman. The gate creaked open, revealing the sprawling compound and the lush garden that Mom Nkechi meticulously maintained. As Chinedu drove in, he felt a surge of excitement. He parked his car and stepped out, straightening his shirt. The gateman greeted him with a nod and closed the gate behind him. Mom Nkechi was already waiting by the entrance of her home, her eyes sparkling with joy. As Chinedu approached, she wrapped her arms around him and greeted him with a deep, passionate kiss. He felt the warmth of her embrace and the sweetness of her kiss, making his heart race. Wah, I will enjoy her today, Chinedu thought to himself, smiling as they broke the kiss. Welcome, Chinedu, Mom Nkechi said, her voice filled with affection. Come, let's sit and relax. She led him into the living room, where a beautiful sofa couch awaited them. Chinedu admired the elegant decor and the cozy atmosphere of her home. They sat down together, facing each other, their hands intertwined. Mom and Kechi leaned in and kissed him again, their lips meeting with a mix of tenderness and desire. The television played softly in the background, but their focus was entirely on each other. After a while, Mom and Kechi suggested, "Let's cook a meal together, Chinedu. It'll be fun." Chinedu agreed eagerly, and they made their way to the kitchen. The next few hours were filled with laughter and light-hearted conversation as they prepared a delicious meal together. They moved in harmony, chopping vegetables, stirring pots, and tasting each other's creations. The kitchen was filled with the aromas of their cooking and the warmth of their growing bond. As the evening approached, they sat down to enjoy the meal they had prepared, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. The sky outside turned a deep shade of orange, signaling the end of a wonderful day. Chinedu glanced at the clock and realized it was time to leave. "I should be going, Mom and Kechi. It's getting late." Mom and Kechi walked him to the door, her hand still holding his. "Thank you for today, Chinedu. I had such a wonderful time. Let's meet again soon." "Of course, Mom and Kechi," Chinedu replied, his voice filled with warmth. "Where shall we meet next?" "Let's meet at the game park next weekend," she suggested with a smile. "We can enjoy the outdoors together." Chinedu nodded, grateful for the promise of their next meeting. He kissed her hand gently and said, "I'll see you at the game park, Mom and Kechi." She watched him leave, feeling a sense of contentment and anticipation. Chinedu drove out of the compound, the promise of their next meeting bringing a smile to his face as he looked forward to their future together. The weekend finally arrived, and Mom and Kechi found herself at the game park much earlier than the appointed time. She was filled with excitement and anticipation, but as the minutes passed and there was no sign of Chinedu, she began to grow anxious. She picked up her phone and dialed his number, but the call went unanswered. Frustration began to creep in, and she paced near the entrance, glancing frequently at the gate. Was he just lying about coming, she muttered to herself, anger and disappointment welling up inside her. "I thought he cared." Just as she was about to lose hope, she spotted Chinedu's car approaching the gate. Her heart leapt with joy, and she couldn't help but jump up happily, waving at him as he drove in. Chinedu parked and hurried over to her, a broad smile on his face. "I'm so sorry I'm late, Mom and Kechi," he apologized, his eyes filled with sincerity. "There was a lot of traffic on the way." Mom and Kechi's anger melted away instantly as she embraced him. "It's okay, Chinedu. I'm just happy you're here now." They walked hand in hand through the park, finding a quiet spot where they could sit and talk. The serene environment and the presence of each other created a perfect setting for their conversation about their future. "Mom and Kechi," Chinedu began, holding her hands in his, "I've been thinking a lot about us. I want our love to grow and flourish. I want to marry you." Tears of joy filled Mom and Kechi's eyes. "Oh, Chinedu, I feel the same way. I want to spend the rest of my life with you." They kissed passionately, sealing their commitment to each other. Chinedu reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. He opened it to reveal a pair of matching rings. "Let's exchange these rings," he said, slipping one onto her finger, as a symbol of our love and promise to each other. Mom and Kechi took the other ring and gently placed it on Chinedu's finger. "Now we're truly bound to each other," she said, smiling through her tears. They continued their conversation, planning their future together. "Let's go to Dubai for our honeymoon next month," Chinedu suggested. "It will be a perfect place to enjoy ourselves and strengthen our bond." Mom and Kechi's face lit up with excitement. "That sounds wonderful, Chinedu. We'll make beautiful memories there." They agreed to meet at Mom and Kechi's house on the day of their departure, to start their journey to the airport together. The sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park as they reluctantly prepared to leave. Thank you for this beautiful day, Chinedu, Mom Nkechi said, hugging him tightly. Thank you, Mom Nkechi. I can't wait for our future together, he replied, kissing her softly. They wished each other a safe journey home, promising to call each other later. As they walked to their respective cars, both felt a deep sense of happiness and contentment, looking forward to the life they were about to build together. The promised day for Dubai honeymoon finally arrived, and Chinedu walked up the pavement towards Mom Nkechi's house, pulling his suitcase behind him. He felt a surge of excitement and anticipation for their upcoming journey. As he approached the front door, Mom Nkechi opened it with a radiant smile. Sweetheart, it's so good to see you, she greeted warmly. You've arrived early, just as we planned. Now we have plenty of time to get to the airport. Chinedu smiled back, feeling a wave of affection for her. I wouldn't miss it for the world, Mom Nkechi. She welcomed him inside, guiding him to the plush sofa couch in the living room. Please, make yourself comfortable, she said, hurrying off to the kitchen. I'll bring you a light tea break before we leave. Chinedu settled onto the couch, admiring the tasteful decor of her home. In no time, Mom Nkechi returned with a tray holding 2 cups of steaming tea, some biscuits, and fresh fruit. They shared a quiet, intimate moment, sipping their tea and savoring the anticipation of their trip. After finishing their tea, they quickly gathered their things and headed out. Chinedu helped Mom Nkechi with her bags, and they loaded everything into the car. As they drove to the airport, their conversation was filled with excitement and dreams of the adventures that awaited them in Dubai. Upon arriving at the airport, they went through the check-in process smoothly. Holding hands, they made their way through security and towards their gate. The anticipation built as they waited to board the plane, their eyes shining with the promise of new experiences. Finally, their boarding call was announced. They walked down the jet bridge together, their fingers intertwined. As they settled into their seats on the plane, Chinedu leaned over and kissed Mom Nkechi's hand. We are really doing this, he said, his voice filled with wonder. Yes, we are, Mom Nkechi replied, her heart swelling with happiness. I can't wait to start this journey with you. The plane taxied down the runway and then lifted into the sky. As they ascended, Chinedu and Mom Nkechi gazed out the window, watching the ground fall away beneath them. They turned to each other, their smiles reflecting the excitement and joy of the adventure ahead. As the plane soared through the clouds, bound for Dubai, they leaned back in their seats, holding hands, and dreaming of the future they would build together. Chinedu and Mom Nkechi stepped off the plane at Dubai International Airport, feeling the warmth of the desert air. They were filled with excitement as they navigated through the bustling terminal. After collecting their luggage, they headed to the transportation area to hire a Uber, a popular ride-hailing service in Dubai. Their driver, a friendly man named Ahmed, greeted them warmly and helped load their bags into the car. Where to? He asked with a smile. To the beach, Chinedu replied, his eyes sparkling with excitement. We have a house rented there. Ahmed nodded and expertly navigated the busy streets of Dubai, eventually bringing them to a beautiful beachside house. The whitewashed walls and large windows overlooking the ocean were breathtaking. They thanked Ahmed and made their way inside, marveling at the luxurious yet cozy interior. After unpacking their bags, they decided to rest. The journey had been long, and they wanted to be fresh and energized for the start of their honeymoon. They lay down on the comfortable bed, holding each other close as they drifted off to sleep. The next morning, they woke up early, the sound of waves gently lapping at the shore outside their window. They were eager to start their day and enjoy the beauty of Dubai's beaches. They changed into their beach attire, Chinedu in stylish swim trunks and Mom Nkechi in a vibrant, elegant swimsuit. They walked hand in hand along the sandy beach, feeling the cool breeze on their faces. The sun was rising, casting a golden glow over the water. They found a perfect spot and set up their towels and beach umbrella. First, they dipped their toes in the clear, turquoise water. The temperature was perfect, and they laughed as they splashed each other playfully. Soon, they were swimming together, enjoying the refreshing embrace of the sea. After a while, they returned to the shore and lay down on the warm sand, letting the sun dry their skin. "Can you believe we are really here?" Mom Nkechi said, her voice filled with wonder. "It feels like a dream," Chinedu replied, smiling at her. "I'm so happy we decided to do this." They spent the day enjoying each other's company, swimming and lounging on the sandy beach. They indulged in local delicacies from nearby beachside vendors, savoring every bite as they watched the waves. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, orange hue over the horizon, they made their way back to their beach house. They showered and changed into comfortable clothes, ready to relax and reflect on their amazing day. Sitting on the balcony, they planned their next 2 weeks in Dubai, filled with excitement and anticipation. "We've had such a wonderful start to our honeymoon," Mom Nkechi said, her eyes twinkling. "I can't wait to see what the rest of the trip holds for us." "Me too," Chinedu agreed, taking her hand in his. "This is just the beginning of our beautiful journey together." They spent the evening cuddling and talking about their future, grateful for the love and happiness they had found in each other. As the stars twinkled above and the sound of the waves lulled them into a peaceful state, they felt a deep sense of contentment and joy. Their 2-week honeymoon in Dubai was filled with adventure, relaxation, and moments that strengthened their bond even further. As they prepared to return home, they knew they had created memories that would last a lifetime. They were ready to face the future together, with hearts full of love and dreams of many more adventures to come. After 2 blissful weeks in Dubai, Chinedu and Mom Nkechi prepared for their journey back home. They packed their bags with a mix of nostalgia and excitement, knowing they were leaving behind a beautiful chapter but also looking forward to their future together. Their flight back was smooth and comfortable, filled with affectionate conversations and shared dreams. As the plane descended towards their home country, they felt a renewed sense of anticipation. Upon arriving at the airport, they collected their luggage and made their way through the familiar terminal. Chinedu arranged for a car to take them back to Mom Nkechi's house. During the drive, they discussed their plans for the future. "We should start looking for a new house," Chinedu suggested. "A place that's ours, where we can build our life together." Mom Nkechi nodded, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Yes, a fresh start in a home that's ours would be wonderful." Over the next few weeks, they visited numerous properties, searching for the perfect house. Finally, they found a beautiful, spacious home with a lovely garden and plenty of room to grow. It was the perfect place for them to start their new life together. They quickly finalized the purchase and began the process of moving in. They packed up all their belongings, carefully wrapping cherished items and organizing everything for the move. The moving day arrived, and with the help of some friends and professional movers, they transported everything to their new home. The house was filled with boxes and furniture waiting to be arranged, but the sense of excitement and joy was palpable. Chinedu and Mom Nkechi worked together, turning the house into a warm and inviting home. They placed their favorite pieces of furniture in the living room, hung family photos on the walls, and set up a cozy reading nook by the large window overlooking the garden. In the kitchen, they unpacked their dishes and cookware, reminiscing about the meals they would cook together. Their bedroom was transformed into a serene retreat, with soft linens and personal touches that made it uniquely theirs. As the last box was emptied and the final piece of furniture placed, they stood together in the living room, admiring their new home. Chinedu wrapped his arms around Mom Nkechi, pulling her close. "We did it," he said, his voice filled with love and pride. "This is our home now." Mom Nkechi smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "Yes, and it's perfect. I'm so grateful for this new beginning with you, Chinedu. They spent the evening relaxing in their new home, feeling a deep sense of contentment. The journey from Dubai to their new house marked the start of a beautiful chapter in their lives. They were ready to face the future together, filled with love, happiness, and the promise of many wonderful moments to come. 2 months had passed since Chinedu and Momankechi moved into their new home. Life was filled with joy, love, and the excitement of building their future together. However, recently, Nkechi had started experiencing morning sickness. At first, she brushed it off as just a minor illness, but as the days went by, she began to suspect something more. One morning, after another bout of nausea, Nkechi decided to take a pregnancy test. She went to the bathroom, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and anxiety. After what felt like an eternity, the test confirmed what she had begun to suspect: she was pregnant. Nkechi was overwhelmed with emotion. She couldn't wait to share the news with Chinedu. She hurried downstairs to find him sitting at the kitchen table, sipping his morning coffee. "Chinedu," she called, her voice trembling with excitement. He looked up, immediately noticing the look on her face. "What is it, sweetheart?" "I have some incredible news," she said, barely able to contain her joy. "I'm pregnant." For a moment, Chinedu was speechless. Then, a broad smile spread across his face, and he jumped up from his chair, rushing to embrace her. "Are you serious?" he exclaimed, his voice filled with happiness and disbelief. Nkechi nodded, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Yes, it's true. We're going to have a baby." Chinedu lifted her off the ground, spinning her around in pure elation. "This is the best news ever, Nkechi," he said, his eyes shining with tears of happiness. "I can't believe it. We're going to be parents." They held each other tightly, both overwhelmed by the joy of the moment. Chinedu felt his heart swell with pride and love. He knew their life together was about to become even more extraordinary. "I can't wait to start this journey with you," he whispered, kissing her softly. "Our family is growing, and I couldn't be happier." They stood there in their kitchen, holding each other and dreaming of the future. Their love had brought them to this beautiful moment, and they were ready to face whatever came next, together. The news of their growing family filled their hearts with a happiness they had never known before.